All right, we're outside. It's a beautiful day. I expect my dog to come walking through here any minute because he's walking up. All right. Well, some people have asked me, how do you know when to hire a fractional CO? So today I wanted to cover the top 3 reasons why, or top 3 reasons how you know when to hire a fractional CO. So the first one is if you're coming in and you're putting out fires all the time, if it's just getting to be like every day is just nonstop, like there's some new incident, there's something wrong with the website, something wrong with the business, or something wrong with an employee, something wrong with sales. Every day is some new crisis. That's usually a time when you can bring in a fractional CO. And what they're going to do is they're going to come in and kind of streamline operations. What that means, so in the example, like if there's an employee issue, they have a place to go, there's a process there. If there's something wrong with the website, what do we do to fix that? What are some things we can proactively do to look at the website to make sure there aren't any issues? Maybe there's something wrong with the building, or there's something wrong with the office, or there's something wrong with how you get stuff done, or there's something wrong with whose responsibility something was. So that's how a fractional CO can kind of help create some of that infrastructure and then reinforce that with the team, train the team, get them up to speed, get everybody thinking the same way so that you guys can focus on growing. And that's really how you can kind of help that. So if you're putting out fires all the time, that's a clear indication that a fractional COO can help. So the second thing is if your team is overwhelmed and you're clearly underperforming, like you guys are just not meeting your goals, if you're creating weekly goals, if you're creating monthly goals, if you're creating quarterly goals, and you guys just seem like you're just not getting anything done, that's absolutely a time to bring in a fractional CO. A fractional CO can look at where some of those issues are. How do we create more space so that things are getting done? Are we creating too big of projects? Are some of the goals that we're trying to achieve way up here? How do we simplify? How do we break them into smaller chunks? How do we get the same impact with less? So that's a lot of the ways that fractional CEOs can help. And definitely some of the ways that I think when I'm approaching projects like that is sometimes things aren't really that defined and we need to break them down into smaller pieces. So that's definitely something we can look into and streamline operations for that too. And the third thing is if your business is growing, but the behind the scenes, everything's just a mess. For example, you're onboarding clients and, who's going to be their, point of contact, who's going to be their account manager, who's, if that changes and someone starts and then it's like, oh no, it's not that person, it's this person. You're not, the communication's bad. If you're not creating that experience for that customer, or just the way you're handling, things behind the scenes when you're trying to do business, everything seems haphazard. There's no fluidity to the way you're doing your business. That's absolutely a time to bring in your fractional CO. So it's good that you are focusing on your business and you are growing your business, but behind the scenes, if things aren't being taken care of and it's just literally feels like it's day by day and you're just barely getting by, a fractional CO can come in, they can create processes and procedures so that you can focus on bringing all those new clients in and grow, and so that you can keep using that as a building block to keep going farther and further. So again, those are the top 3 reasons, big indicators right away of that you could top 3 reasons that you will know when it's time to bring in a fractional CO.